Okay, 3 guesses to figure out the name of this movie without Googling it. So I'm going to say, fuck, I've heard the name of this movie once, and it was like 2 weeks ago, so I have no clue. It was something like Skinamarink? Skinamarink, maybe? I'm going to Google it. 1 second. I'm Googling it. It is Skinamarink. I said it. I have not seen the name of this movie in 2 weeks, and I remember, like, before I started recording, I was like, this is going to be so fucking difficult to remember, and I was right. I have no idea, but I hope I'm even saying it correctly. Skinamarink? I don't know. Anyway. Hello, my name is Pavel. Welcome back to my channel. If you cannot hear by my voice, I am once again sick for like the 50th time in the last year because I'm just continuously sick. And I don't know why. But despite me being sick, I am super excited for this video because we are watching Skinamarink. If you did not hear me in the intro, I cannot say the name of this movie. I have it open here so I do not forget how to pronounce this name. I'm super excited about this because this is a movie that I have seen everywhere, and apparently this is a movie that is like super popular on TikTok, which I did not know. It is a horror movie, and I actually know very little about this movie, and I feel like that's like, once again, like the absolute perfect way to go into a movie. It is a super low budget horror movie. I think it had like a $15,000 budget, which is absolutely incredible. And this movie has been, and this movie has been getting so much hype. I heard about it from Chris Stuckman, who spoke about it, and the way he described it was this is a super slow paced horror movie, and this is a movie that gives you very little detail and you kind of have to figure everything out yourself. It's very slow. There's a lot of just blank shots of like, I don't know, like a mirror or like something within the house of like doors and windows and things throughout the house, and it creates this like aesthetic but creepy atmosphere, and that makes me feel a little bit nervous because if this is like a 90-minute movie, how do you like, is this not going to be like a super slow paced film? Because if it is, then I feel a little bit nervous because I feel like it'll be super slow. Again, I know very little about this movie. I just know it has so much hype around it. So many people are talking about it. And once again, I'm talking about it, but I'm like 3 weeks late as per. And I Googled it and it got like, oh, this is boring. This isn't really like entertaining me. Because I've heard great things about this. Chris Stuckman really sold it to me, and I was very curious about it. And apparently this is like a super popular movie on TikTok out of like all of the apps. Like apparently whenever a lot of people went to the cinema, there was just like a lot of kids there because they saw this movie on TikTok, which is great. It's great for the director of this movie, because imagine making a movie for 15 grand and having it be super successful, and that's fucking incredible. But I don't really know what else to say. My predictions are that this movie is going to be super slow, that not much is going to happen, and that it's going to be creepy. I don't really know what to say, if I'm being honest. I'm just looking forward to actually watching Skinamarink. Okay, I'm gonna go watch it, and I'll be back in like however long this takes, and I will tell you what I thought about this movie. See you then. Okay, I have watched, oh wait, this is not in the style of Skinamarink. Oh, yep, there we go. Hello, I thought that was going to be a funny bit, but it was not funny at all, because like most of the movies like zoomed into things like this, like my towel over there, and like the top of my hair or something. Okay, I'm not funny. I need to humble myself. Okay, whew. Should I keep my hood up? No, I don't think I should. Okay, hello. I have watched Skinamarink, and holy fuck, I don't really know how to feel about it. I'm not too sure. I do know that I need to fix this camera, and stay there, please. Before I speak about this movie, I'm gonna read you the synopsis. 2 children wake up in the middle of the night to find that their father is missing, and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished. And you know what? As a synopsis, this makes sense, but whenever you watch this movie, it is very difficult to figure out what the fuck is going on, because this movie, as I predicted, this movie is a lot of super slow shots of things throughout the house, and you build a story by just listening and trying to figure things out. Because for example, there's a scene where you're just looking at a door or a little lamp, and you hear like doors closing and people shouting and like these little voices, and you're like, let me get all the information that I have from these little scenes and put them together and try figure out a story, which is super, super original. And that is something that I really liked about this movie, but I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. I feel like this is a movie that is going to be very hard to review because it feels very abstract. I do not even know if that is the correct word, but it's a movie where you're not presented with a lot of things visually. Not a lot of information is given to you, so it's something that is very difficult to review. But I really love that this movie is filmed in one location, in one house, on such a small budget, because that is so inspiring to people like me. I would love to make movies, and this is an example of you do not need a lot of money to make a great movie. This movie, with its even though this movie has so many static shots and close-ups of lights, it is beautiful. This movie is so aesthetically pleasing. All the shots of things being turned upside down, even of a lot of couches, the lighting within this movie looks so aesthetically pleasing. And I think it has this like aesthetic of it being very like grainy and a bit faded, and it has like this film look. I don't know if this was shot on film. I'm guessing it wasn't. I have no idea. And I really like the aesthetic of this movie, and I feel like it adds to the creepiness of this movie. Creepiness. I feel like I said that weird. And since this is a horror movie, I need to address if I found this movie scary. And yes, I did. There was a few scenes throughout this that genuinely made me jump. And I was kind of like biting my nails. For example, there's one scene where one of the kids is speaking to their father or somebody else, and they're like, look under the bed. And the kid looks under the bed, and I was just like very anxious. And there's a few jump scares in this movie that made me go as I was watching it. So I think it ticked that box. But this movie is so slow paced, like holy shit. This is an hour and 40 minutes, and I felt that hour and 40 minutes towards the end. I was like, okay, this like aesthetic has definitely worn off for me, and watching this movie right now feels very not tedious, because I feel like tedious is the wrong word, but I really felt the length of this movie. I feel like this movie should have been like 60 minutes long or 70 minutes or even 50, but 100 minutes long. Holy shit. I was, towards the end, I was like, this better have a satisfying ending, and it didn't, because I don't know what happened in the end. So I feel like this movie is too long. And I don't want to be harsh, because it's an incredible achievement to have such a successful movie. This movie has made $2 million, and it had a $15,000 budget. That is fucking incredible. But holy shit, it was too long. If I went to see this in the cinema, I would be like, Jesus Christ, how long is left? I admire the aesthetic, and I admire the fact that you were given such little information. You have to figure out the stories, like you have to fill in the blanks yourself, and I think it's great because the information isn't just given to you. You have to piece it together, and I think that's also unique because every person that watches this is going to have a different opinion as to what is actually happening, about the storyline, about like the threats within the movie, what's happening to the kids, what's happening to the father. I think that's great, but I feel like just too long, just absolutely too long. And I feel like whenever you're trying to figure out the meaning of this movie, you could get super, super pretentious. You could have all these like super dramatic conversations about what this movie is really about. But I think I want to just treat this movie as something that looks a little bit creepy, is aesthetically pleasing, and is just a really cool horror movie. And I don't really want to overthink about the true meaning. I don't want to watch like a half an hour long video about the true hidden meaning of Skinamarink. How can I not say the name of this movie? What is wrong with me? But with that, I'm super curious to see what the director is going to do like in the future. Let me actually check who the director of this movie is. The director of this movie is Kyle Edward Ball, and I'm really excited to see what they are going to do in the future, because if they did this on such a small budget and they were so unique and so creative, then imagine what they're going to do when they get so much industry support because of the success of this movie. And I think it's great that also like younger audiences are like getting information about this movie from TikTok and are exploring movies like this, because it's amazing. It's not like your typical linear movie that feeds you all the information. It makes you think, and it's just something that is different. And I think it's great to step out of your comfort zone and watch things out of your comfort zone, because you discover things that you might really, really love. And I really did enjoy this movie. Aside from the length, I had a really good time, and it was quite creepy, and I'm really glad I watched it. And I think that is everything that I have to say about Skinamarink, because I don't know, I just don't have that much more to say. Have you seen this movie? What did you think of it? If you did you find it to be really boring, or were you actually really hooked? And did you find it scary? Did you not find it scary? Why? Tell me in the comments, because I would love to hear what you think. But I think that's everything from me. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully in the next video, I will not be super sick. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.